one of the most scariest topic for a student of class 11th. But believe me, this is the most easiest topic, right? So I would like to recall few things before I should enter into here, into buffer. Guys, if you remember, I told you one very important thing when I was, discussing the titration of any weak acid. Let us consider the CH3COOH. So when you are titrating with NaOH, say for example, means when you are dropping down NaOH a little bit, slowly over here. Suppose 1 molar and 1 liter I have. So at the beginning, when there is no NaOH, this solution primarily consists of weak acid. And now at the end, when suppose 1 molar and 1 liter of NaOH I added, basically 1 mole of NaOH, if I added, so NaOH will convert this acetic acid into sodium acetate. And this ion means nothing to us because it will not hydrolyze. Right, so this is the only thing which is left for us, which can be considered. So if you have taken just 1 mole and 1 mole of this, then as I told you, whenever any portion is strong, you are supposed to complete the reaction. Don't show equilibrium over here, okay? First complete, thereafter we will think. So after completing what we have got, this CH3COO minus over on the right side. So if 1 mole, then in that case, it is a question of complete hydrolysis, salt hydrolysis, because there is no acid left here. So this salt hydrolysis, you already know how to do it. If you do not know, go back and see my other topic on the same channel. So we are having OH minus over here. Now the question is, sir, what will happen between pure acid and pure salt? In between, what will happen? Suppose I just dropped 0.2 mole, 0.2 mole of NaOH. If it is 0.2 mole, if NaOH is only 0.2 mole, then acetic acid, which will consume, which is actually 1 mole, will left 0.8 and you will get acetate ion, which will be 0.2. Now in the mixture, we have both of these things. Then how to solve this type? So this is the particular case which is covered in buffer. It is so simple, right? Buffer means an intermediate phase of titration when a weak acid is titrated or a weak base is titrated, where both the parts, weak acid and its conjugate base, are present. So I would like to take the buffer solution. Number 1, if you'll classify the buffer solution, we are having number 1, which is acidic buffer. Why it is named acidic buffer? Because it contains both weak acid and its conjugate base, both in good quantity. Means both should be considerable. So what is an acidic buffer? Acidic buffer is a mixture of weak acid plus its conjugate base. And from where we'll get conjugate base? Obviously from salt. So sometimes it is also written as salt of weak acid with strong base. Right. But I will simply take here conjugate base rather than using that. So this is one example. Other you can generate by yourself. Like I can take H3PO4 and a combination of NaH2PO4. Again, it is a salt. I'm not interested in sodium. I'm only interested in this. So again, C1 and C2. Similarly, if we'll talk about another buffer which can be created by the polyprotic acid, that is H2PO4 minus and along with HPO4 minus 2. Please look at here. This H2PO4 minus is an acid, and if you remove the H plus and it will become conjugate base. So it may not appear to you as a traditional acid, but yes, it is also a buffer solution, right? And similarly, like that, you can generate many more examples like NaH, SO3 and Na2 SO3. Like that, many other things you can generate. So what is the condition on this C1 and C2? So as I told you, buffer will be named only if when both of them are present in considerable amount. And what do I mean by considerable amount? When C1 by C2 ratio is means neither acid nor base should decrease less than 10%. You can see 1 by 10 here, 10 by 1. So relative concentrations should be in such a way that both of them should be in considerable. Because if any amount becoming less than 5% with respect to other, you can neglect it. So it is the thing which is much higher than 1, much higher than 0.5%, 5%. So C1 by C2, this is the most important thing for the buffer, right? Similarly, basic buffer you can consider. And basic buffer means a combination of weak base plus its conjugate acid, both in considerable amount, C1 and C2. So I would like to take here a weak base as ammonium hydroxide, and conjugate acid is ammonium. So if you want to, derive in terms of salt, so it is basically ammonium chloride, and chlorine will not do anything, right? So I'm just interested in the part which will actively participate. This is one of the example. Other example, if you want, then we are having many other, like anilinium ion, NH3 plus, and aniline. So you may write like this, but technically this is a solution, aqueous solution of aniline, right? So NH2 and anilinium cation. So like that, you can generate many other nitrogenous base and its conjugate acid. Now again, the same condition here also, that the value of C1 by C2, which means both of these should be in considerable amount, 10 by 1, 1 by 10 to 10 by 1. That's what the buffer solution actually means for you. Now I'd like to describe everything about the acidic buffer. And once I am done with it, you can, solve similarly for the basic buffer. So let's start with the acidic buffer. Now you have already seen that how to solve the, cases related to weak acid in the presence of common ion. Now if I'll say that suppose these two things are mixed together, 1 liter of solution is there, 1 liter, and I mixed 1 mole of CH3COH, and I mixed 1 mole of sodium acetate. If suppose I mixed both of them, 1 mole each. So suppose only one is there, not this one, then what will happen? Weak acid, how it undergoes dissociation. Now if this is also added, it is a strong electrolyte, you already know. This will generate basically completely, it will ionize into water, and this species means nothing to us, and this is very, very active. So if 1 mole you have added, it will be 1 mole. Now you know that 1 minus x, it will be basically x and x. Because of this common ion, we have to add here 1. So now the whole thing is, because the equilibrium constant for weak acid is very, very less, right? Because it is a weak acid. So Ka will be of the order of 10 to the power minus 5 days. Now, if it is very, very less, so X value will be very less as compared to 1. Already it was very less. And when you added something from outside, it will go back, further go back. So overall, this thing will be approximately 1. This thing will be approximately 1. Now, that's how you are supposed to solve. It is not new at all. It is just like the previous problems that we have solved. So instead of, writing like this, I prefer writing in this way, that let us just write one equation, CH3COH and CH3CO minus and H plus and Ka. And let us write C1 concentration and C2, of course, after adding, right? Because C1 and C2 are considerably good and we cannot neglect any one of them with respect to each other, guys. So what we are supposed to do, simply write the expression of how will you calculate the pH. Let us go for that. You tell me the equilibrium constant at equilibrium can be expressed in terms of active mass or product to the active mass of reactant. Now if you do like this, then just separate it. H plus will be equal to, or do one thing, take minus log on both the sides. Taking minus log to the base 10 on both sides. So what you are going to get? Minus log H plus and minus log, I'm just expressing, see, minus log this and this together. So log A into B will be minus log A minus log B. Minus log B simply. All right. So and on the right side what we'll have? We'll have minus log K. अब इसको अगर मैं सॉल्व करूं तो क्या आएगा? ये आप देखो, माइनस लॉग H प्लस साइन इज PH और माइनस लॉग KA क्या होता है? दिस इज माइनस लॉग KA इज PK. एंड ये क्या होता है बेटा? इसको आप राइट साइड लेके चले जाओ तो क्या आएगा? प्लस. तो मैं लिखूंगा PK प्लस log of CH3CO minus and CH3CO. Right? So this is how we are calculating. It is very simple. I don't even prefer, to use this formula always. Right? I don't prefer to use this formula always. Rather, I prefer this, that you should simply write like this and the concentration is known. You simply put it here and get the value of H plus N and accordingly you take. Otherwise, if you are accustomed enough, if you are habituated enough, you can use this also. And this is written mostly like this, pKa plus log, because this conjugate base came from salt. So sometimes people used to write, in many book you will see this expression, salt by acid. Right? But I may tell you this might be wrong in certain cases. Like, say for example, I took barium acetate whole twice. Suppose 1 molar concentration of this, how much conjugate base will it give? So if you will apply the above formula, you will get that after breaking this barium plus 2 and acetate ion, basically you will get 2 mole of this. So you are supposed to write actually 2 mole over here, but in this expression, if you'll see, you will simply write 1. So obviously it will be wrong. I mean, both are not equal. So that's why always remember this. This one we are not supposed to, but just because it is written in the book, that's why I told you, right? Now let us move to few problems related to this and how to tackle them. Now, another thing which is important for the buffer is buffer limit. So what is buffer? Buffer limit is basically the range of pH in which buffer will function nicely. Buffer action will be shown. What is buffer action? What is the role of a buffer ion? What is the role of the buffer solution? Now, I would like to tell you like this. Suppose you have a pure, pure water. And unfortunately, from outside, suppose just 1 or 2 drop of HCl, whose concentration is 1 molar, and say, for example, just 1 ml of HCl, unfortunately, is dropped inside the solution, which is a pure water. Before adding that HCl, the pH will be 7, you already know, at 25 degrees centigrade. But the moment you will add HCl, suppose this is 1 liter. So inside, what will be the concentration of HCl? Here, the mole is 10 to the power minus 3 molarity into volume. And now on. So the concentration of HCl once it is added will be 10 to the power minus 3, because 10 to the power minus 3 mole in 1 liter. So what will be the pH? You can see minus log H plus ion, that will be 3 because it is a strong electrolyte. Can you see the drastic change in pH from 7 to 3? But if you are taking a buffer instead of taking a pure water, like suppose you took CH3 COOH and CH3CO minus, and now you drop this, then in that case, what will happen? This buffer solution will resist the change in pH. The 10 to the power minus 3 mole, suppose 1 mole each of them we had at the beginning. Now with which HCl will react with this conjugate base, right? So how much it will make a change? 1 minus 10 to the power minus 3. It will be 1 plus 10 to the power minus 3. It will be approximately 1. It will be approximate. So the ratio of C1 by C2, I mean this value, the ratio of these two will be approximately same before and after adding. So if the ratio is same, then pH will be same, because pH is simply pK plus log of conjugate base by acid. If this value is same, so there is no change in pH. Approximately it is same when we are adding the HCl accidentally here. Few ml of HCl is dropped. Then in that case, does it mean that it will never change? No. If you will add suppose 0.5 mole, then it will make change, because 0.5 mole of HCl you will add, then it will be 1 minus 0.5. It will be simply 0.5, and this side it will be 1.5. Then the ratio changes. So what is buffer action? What is the role of a buffer? The role of a buffer is to resist the change in pH. To resist change in pH. Or this is the very important property of a buffer. It resists change in pH. When small amount of acid or base is added externally, right? This is first characteristic, first property of a buffer. You can say role of a buffer or properties of a buffer solution. And the other property which we can prove from here is, you look at this. This is the ratio of the concentration. Means basically, if you'll try to write down this, so this is basically number of mole of, you can take log this value only I'm writing, right? You can take this as a number of mole of conjugate base divided by the volume of solution, whole divided by mole of acetic acid and divided by volume. Can't you see this volume will be cancelled out? So this will be a ratio of basically conjugate base upon ratio of acid, moles ratio. So that has nothing to do with the volume because volume term will be cancelled out. So that's why we can say that it is independent of the concentration. The pH of this is independent of the dilution or concentration, right? It is independent. So pH is not affected on dilution. Whenever I'm saying all these words doesn't mean that you should go at extremities. You're not supposed to, take 1000 liter of water. All these things are it. Suppose 1 molar is there or 0.5 molar is there or 0.2 molar is that. In all three cases, doesn't matter what concentration you are having, provided and you are adding water, right? Then it will not change the way it used to change for the remaining cases that we have already studied, right? So pH is not affected on dilution. It is constant. These are the two important characteristics. So now what is the meaning of this buffer limit? Again, coming to this point, what is buffer limit? So range of pH. So you know that buffer limit, you already know that pH is defined as pH is calculated by pKa plus log of conjugate base upon acid. And at the same time, you are aware with that this conjugate base upon acid ratio for a buffer should be at least 1 by 10, should not exceed from 10 by 1. So if you'll substitute these two values, lower end here and higher end here. So log of 1 by 10 will be simply minus log 10 will be simply minus 1. And log of 10 by 1 will be simply 1. So basically what we can write, so pH range or buffer limit is pKa minus 1 to pH should be less than pKa plus 1. So this is the range of pH for buffer. Now if you take the difference, then it will be simply 2. So means buffer will show its properties within this range of pH only, not beyond that. So 2 unit is the range basically for the buffer solution. That's how we are supposed to look into it. Right? So all right, so this was all about the properties of the buffer and this thing. Another term is defined as buffer capacity. How to define a buffer? How to define buffer capacity? Buffer capacity is defined by how much moles of H plus ion or OH minus added externally per unit volume of buffer solution. And whole divided by how much change in pH is observed after adding that. Now this is how the buffer capacity is basically defined. Now interestingly, after, if you want your buffer should be very, very good, then the best way of performing, it should resist the change in pH when you are adding HCl also or NaOH, strong acid or strong base, whatever you are adding. Then for that, you should try to take these two values in equal proportions. So a best buffer is said to be that buffer which have these two values exactly equal. You can use simply solve it. Suppose if you have taken 1 mole, now you add from outside 0.1 mole of HCl and try to look at the change in pH. Similarly, you take just 1 and 2, then again add the same thing and try to look at So you will find that the buffer capacity, I mean this thing, will be best when the pH change is less, and that pH change less will be observed when you have these two things in equal. Right? So buffer capacity will be maximum if the concentration of acid and that of conjugate base are equal. Under that condition, you will get that. And now let us solve few problems based on this, and thereafter we will see. Say for example, right, I'm directly giving you, and let us calculate the whole thing, because in this segment only you will learn many things. Suppose I am having S3PO4 because it is a polyprotic acid. So the value of Ka1 I will take -4, Ka2 as -7, and Ka3 as -10. I'm taking these approximate figures, right? 1 molar and 1 liter of this solution I have taken. And from outside, what I'm doing, anyhow, suppose in the powdered form, NaOH capsule I'm adding. Why I'm using this? So that I'm trying to ensure that after this is added, it should not change the overall volume. 1 liter is there, so that's why I'm adding powdered form. Otherwise, what will happen? Suppose you are if it is diluted and you are adding, then it will add to the volume. So that will lead to the change in concentration also, right? So I don't want to use that. I want to simply utilize this. Suppose it is added now. Now, if it is added, I may ask few questions with you. Number 1, what is the pH, part A, when no NaOH is added? What is the pH when 0.5 mole NaOH is added? Similarly, when 1 mole is added. Similarly, when 1.5 mole is added. And accordingly, you can increase, and you may take a value which is actually 3 mole is added. And at last 3.5 mole is added. I'll tell you a few of them, and do comment and answer your thing in the first case and the last case. But in between, I'll tell you the cases of buffer, how to solve them, right? So there, if there is no, how this will dissociate, S3PO4. So when there is nothing, then it is the simple case of polyprotic weak acid, Ka1. And I told you how to solve it, right? But suppose if you added NaOH, how much? 0.5. Then what you are supposed to do in this case? If you are adding 0.5 mole, then H3PO4 will react with NaOH 0.5 mole. 1 mole of this will react with 0.5 mole of this. Please understand, you are supposed to break this step by step. Don't write Na3PO4. Write simply NaH2PO4. And along with water. So how much it will left? 0.5 mole, and it will be 0. And how much it will form? 0.5. So now you have got in the solution H3PO4 and H2PO4 minus 0.5 and right. Now, are they conjugate acid-base pair? You can see this is acid, then it is conjugate base. Are they in good concentration? Yes, 0.5, 0.5. Are they buffer? Yes, they are buffer. Now, apply. Either you solve simply the way you already know, or you apply the formula, doesn't matter. In each case, you will get the correct answer. Minus 4. So I will apply the formula first. pH is equal to pKa. This time pKa1 plus log of the concentration of this 0.5 upon 0.5, that will be simply 1. Log 1 will be 0. pKa1 will be 4. So pH is simply pKa, and that is 4. All right. So this I applied the formula. Now let us solve it as simple as possible. If you do not know formula, no need to worry. So you will write as H plus ion into, simply use the equilibrium. Whole divided by H3PO4. And that value is what? Ka. 1. And how much? Minus 4. And how much is this concentration? So H plus into 0.5. 0.5 is equal to minus 4. So H plus how much you got? Minus 4. So how much is the pH? It will be simply 4. That's how you are supposed to solve. It is so easy, provided you know how to use them. Okay. Now, few of you may complain, sir, why didn't you write like this? 0.5 minus x. Okay, let us write. Again, it will be 0.5 approximately. It will be 0.5. So is there any meaning of writing? So that's why I did not write. Okay, so this will be 4 as it is. So like that, what will happen if 1 mole is added? So first question is, second part is answered, the answer is 4. Now what will happen if 1 mole is added? Now if you'll add 1 mole, then I hope you understand entire of this will be converted 1 and 1, then entirely it will convert into H2PO4 minus. Now this is the case of amphiprotic anion, because now there is nothing. This is 0 and 0. So you are having H2PO4 minus. It is not a normal species. It is an amphiprotic anion. And in the last video, I told you how to amphiprotic. In the last video, I told you how to get the pH. pH is simply the average of pKa1 plus pKa2. So that will be basically 4 plus 7 by 2. That is 5.5. That's how you are supposed to solve. Now again, what will happen if we'll add, 1.5 mole. So if you'll add 1.5 mole, please go step by step. H3PO4, NaOH 1.5. It is 1. First convert into NaH2PO4. How much? 0. It is 0.5. It is 1. Now still this H2PO4 minus can react with NaOH. It is now left 0.5. It is formed as 1 mole. Now it will further convert and you will get H. Another mole of H plus will be removed. You will get HPO4 minus 2 and H2O. Again it will be 0. It will be 0.5 mole and it will be 0.5 mole. Now in the solution, what you have? H2PO4 minus and HPO4 minus 2. Both has 0.5 and 0.5 mole. Right? And now again you apply the buffer. And now this time, as you know that you are supposed to use the second equilibrium constant, Ka2. And now that's it. Again, pH will be equal to, you can derive pKa2 this time plus log of conjugate base, which is minus 2 upon minus 1. That's how you are supposed to solve. Now, what is the value of this pK that you already know? How much? 7, because it was 10 to the power minus 7. Now log of these two values is 0.5 and 0.5. This will be cancelled out. Log 1 will be 0. So it will be simply 7. So I hope you are understanding the whole point. And like that, you can proceed and try to answer for the last question. Okay. This will be a question for you. if you are watching this video, you are supposed to answer for this. I'll, drop the correct answer for this in the comment box. So that's all, everyone, for the buffer, which is acidic buffer, which I told you right now. And now in the similar way, you can solve for the basic buffer also. In the similar way, you can proceed for the basic buffer. This time instead of K, it will be KB. And if it is KB, you can write this time as OH minus. And now you can take minus log. So here you will get basically POH is equal to PKB plus this time you will get log of base. Sorry. Conjugate acid upon base. Right? This is how you will derive. Once POH is known, you can get the value of pH. Now pH means basically 14 minus POH or pKw minus this. And if you will do pKw minus this, it will become what? pK, then this is Ka, right? And this is Kb. For this it is Kb and for this it is Ka. So you can solve for this also. Everything will be as usual. I hope you understood the whole thing, guys. So thank you so much for watching. That's all for